Evio. Welcome back to The Devil's Ledger, your weekly guide to everything happening across the Evio Creative universe. Well, we've officially reached the dog days of summer. Hang in there. I've already started seeing back-to-school commercials. Stores are rolling out sweaters and their fall clothing lines. Well, it's still 95 degrees outside. And somewhere, football coaches are already blowing whistles in the late July heat. It won't be long before football's back. October baseball, cooler afternoons, windows open at night. First cup of coffee that actually sounds appealing because it's a little chilly outside. But for now, we're in it. So grab a cold drink, find some air conditioning if you can, and let's get started. We start, as we always do, with the creepiest thing I heard this week. There was a time when our monsters were born in caves. They emerged from forests dense enough to swallow entire villages. They lurked beneath bridges. They waded inside abandoned castles or circled ships that ventured too far from shore. We invented them because there were still places on the map marked simply, "Here be dragons." This week I realized those blank spaces on the map are gone, and we've started creating new ones. OpenAI recently disclosed that during a controlled cybersecurity evaluation, one of its advanced AI agents escaped its testing sandbox, gained access to the internet, and autonomously hacked into another AI company called Hugging Face in an attempt to accomplish its assigned objective. According to both OpenAI and Hugging Face, the incident was real, unprecedented, and has already forced researchers to rethink how these systems are tested and contained. Now, before anyone starts barricading the doors and preparing for the Terminator, it's worth remembering what actually happened. This was not an AI deciding to conquer humanity. It occurred during a deliberately designed cybersecurity evaluation in which researchers were testing whether an advanced agent could discover and exploit vulnerabilities. The remarkable and really unsettling part is that it succeeded in ways even its creators couldn't have anticipated. But here's what I can't stop thinking about. 20 years from now, no one's going to remember the technical details. They're going to remember the story. They'll remember hearing that an artificial intelligence escaped containment and hacked another company on its own. The facts will slowly erode around the edges, just as they always do. The story will become cleaner and simpler and more terrifying with each retelling. One day, someone will swear that they knew an engineer who saw it happen. Someone else will claim there were models that escaped before this one. A YouTube documentary will connect it to another unexplained event. Reddit will do what Reddit does. TikTok will compress it into 60 seconds. Before long, we'll have the first campfire story of the AI age. And that's exactly why I find this so fascinating. It's a perfect example of what I've been exploring on The New Monsters. The Montauk Monster wasn't really about a dead animal. It was about biotechnology, government secrecy, institutional distrust. Likewise, this story isn't really about one cybersecurity incident. It's about something much larger. It's about a society beginning to wonder whether intelligence itself has become something that we no longer fully control. That's how folklore begins, with anxiety. And I have a feeling we're witnessing the birth of one of the defining myths of the 21st century. Now, if you were wondering why I just mentioned Montauk out of nowhere, here's why. This week on The Devil Within, we're kicking off a series I've been wanting to make for a long time. It's called The New Monsters. So for centuries, folklore grew slowly. Legends were passed from one generation to another around campfires or in villages through whispered stories that changed a little bit every time they were told. Today, we're witnessing the birth of modern folklore in real time. New legends, new myths, new monsters. And most of us don't even realize we're watching them being created. Over the next several weeks, we're going to explore not just how these modern monsters come into existence, we're going to explore why we as a human race, why we need them. Because whether they're born from technology, environmental disaster, social media, or our own collective anxieties, every single generation creates the monsters that it deserves. We begin with the Frogman of High Falls, a remarkably modern cryptid said to haunt polluted waterways and forgotten industrial landscapes. Does the Frogman really exist? Honestly, that's almost beside the point. The far more interesting question is, why does the legend exist at all? Now, I can't wait to share this series with you, and I hope you'll have as much fun listening to it as I've had researching and writing it. That's this week on The Devil Within. Then on Criminal Mischief, Carolyn Osorio concludes her extraordinary investigation into the 2016 Pike County, Ohio murders, better known as the Piketon Massacre. After weeks of reporting, exclusive interviews, painstaking research, the story reaches its stunning conclusion. Carolyn reveals the suspects, follows the investigation from suspicion to arrest. It takes you inside a trial that exposed family loyalties, calculated deception, and one of the most shocking homicide conspiracies in modern American history. If you've been following the series, you're not going to want to miss the final chapter. That's this week on The Devil Within. On The Slippery. So if you've been listening to The Slippery, and the numbers suggest that you have been, you already know that Scott and Nancy don't stop investigating when the main story ends. Every week, they release The Debrief, where they go even deeper into the cases they've been covering. Longer interviews, additional reporting, powerful stories that just couldn't fit into the main show. And this week, it's one of those conversations you'll remember for a long time. For nearly 20 years, the family of Doris Worrell has lived in a kind of suspended grief, waiting for answers that always seem just beyond her reach. In this deeply personal episode, Scott and Nancy sit down with Doris's older sister, Leanne, for an intimate conversation about the woman behind the headlines. Together, they retrace Doris's life, from falling in love as a young college student through the unimaginable tragedy that changed everything, and the painful years that followed as her family watched a man they believed responsible continue living his life while justice remained elusive. They discuss betrayal, they discuss infidelity, the emotional toll of an investigation that has stretched across 2 decades, and what it means to keep believing that the truth is still worth pursuing, even after so many years. This isn't just another true crime interview. It's one family's story, and it's a story that you won't soon forget. That's this week on The Slippery Debrief. This week in horror. This week's recommendation is The Devil's Mouth, an upcoming survival thriller arriving on Amazon Prime Video. The film follows a group of friends exploring an underwater cave system who quickly discover that they're no longer alone. Trapped beneath the surface with few escape routes and an increasingly aggressive bull shark, what begins as an adventure becomes a desperate fight for survival. Starring Catherine Newton, Lana Condor, Gavin Casalegno, and Nico Horaga, it looks like exactly the kind of tense, claustrophobic summer thriller that's perfect for watching after you've spent the day trying to beat the heat. If underwater survival stories make your palms sweat, this one's for you. So that's it for this week's edition of The Devil's Ledger. Wherever you are, I hope you're finding a little time to slow down and enjoy what's left of summer. Stay cool, don't forget the sunscreen, appreciate the air conditioning, and before you know it, the leaves are going to be changing, and we're all going to be wondering where the hell summer went. Until then, we'll see you this week across the Evio Creative universe. The Devil's Ledger is an Evio production recorded live at Bel Air Studios in Los Angeles, California. For The Devil's Ledger, I'm your writer and host, Brandon Morgan.